If you're under 13, piss off.
Hello YouTube and welcome to another episode of Angry Dave's Adult RC. I am your host, Angry Dave. Today we are here with the Tamiya Sand Scorcher. Going to make a few more bits of progress on this before we start using it on the regular. Built it a long time ago and never really finished it. So aside from the body needing to be painted and a couple of scale details that I'm going to take care of, like a driver, possibly a scale engine in the back, and a few other things, we'll see. Really needs to be functional first. So the first thing I noticed when I test drove it is this steering link keeps popping off. Takes very little effort, pops it right off. Not a big fan of these little ball and socket style steering joints. They suck ass, really. They might have been okay like back in the 80s when nothing else had been figured out, but a lot of stuff has been figured out since then, and it's pretty much all better than that. So let's take a look at some other options here. So what I'm going to try to use is one of these. This is a Traxxas link. This is an end link for the link that goes between the servo and the bell crank on a Traxxas Slash. Pretty common item, pretty easy to come by, and it's also on a much smaller threaded rod than most of the other links on a Slash, so I think it'll have a little bit easier time threading onto this super skinny steering link here. We'll see. And then I'm pretty sure that the ball end that it snaps onto, that is threaded into the servo saver right here, I think that's just a standard M3 thread. So we should be able to use just a regular screw, or maybe a screw and a nut to hold it on so that it doesn't go anywhere. The inner and outer tie rods I didn't have any problems with driving before, and the joint that's attached to the servo right there, I didn't have any problems with that either. So we'll replace the one that's being a pain in the ass and kind of see how it goes from there. Alright, so we got the rod end off. Now it's time to get the ball socket out of there. There we go. Alright, now we got to find an appropriate screw to go back in that location. Here we have our end, a 12mm M2 screw, and an M2 nylock nut. So the only issue I see with this, I still have to try to put this onto the rod. As long as it threads onto the rod, we're good there. And then the M2 is a little bit thin for the hole right there that's supposed to have an M3 screw. So we'll probably wrap the screw with something to kind of bush it. I'll see if I got some plastic, or if I have to wrap it with tape or aluminum foil or something, just to take up the slop so that it's not too much movement. So I heated up the rod end with the lighter and pinched it shut a little bit with some pliers, and that seems to be all it took. I got it to thread on there. It's pretty secure. So now we're going to go ahead and screw it to the servo saver and see if it works. Alright, we got it on there. Little nylock nut. Let's see if it works. appears to function. Let's take it outside and rip it around for a minute and see if it stays together. Alright, let's see how she does. Well, it already went farther than the last time. Alright, I think we're pretty good on that one. So next we're going to start working on the paint job on the body. And start working on some scale stuff. Get this thing looking like a proper RC buggy. We'll start driving it a lot more. That's all we got for today. Got a quick one. Quick little repair on the Sand Scorcher. Got the steering working again. Fantastic. Go ahead and drop us a like. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell. Leave us a comment. Check us out on our social media pages. We'll see you next time on Adult RC, where grown-up time is playtime.